work is becoming increasingly fluid. And there's statistics galore that's saying that more and more people are going to work independently. They're not just going to work for one company, they're going to work for 2, 3 or 4, 5. They're going to contract to these companies, and you're seeing that move. It's not going to change, it's definitely happening. It's just a question of how fast it is happening. All the stats you look across the world, you'll see that there's more and more consultants, freelancers, people that are working project-based, and that is a trend that's not going to change. So with that, there's a lot of one-man band companies, basically. You know, it's increasing rapidly. And where do they work from? Do they work from home? Do they co-locate? You know, how do they still tap into what is a normal work culture, or what is a social work culture is the question. And I think there's a lot of activity in that whole space going on right now, with co-working sites, with clubs, with a number of solutions for those future freelancers or consultants. Well, I think it's exciting. You know, it's scary at the same time. We have a membership at Work Club called Side Projects, which is exactly for those kind of people that still have got the corporate role. They're holding on to it until their side project has got enough legs for them to actually take that step out. So it's always scary. There's always risks associated with it, but I think the benefits in terms of being in control, whether whether it's one project or 5 projects, there is that sense of feeling of freedom, where you can actually choose who you work from, and where, from an employer perspective, it's more and more accepted that employment going forward doesn't have to be the traditional style of employment. It's perfectly fine that you do more contracts, and so we're definitely seeing that. And also with our own employees, we have people coming to us that just wants to work a couple of days a week, and more often than not we'll entertain that. I think there's a number of drivers. I think the environment is a big driver. If you place yourself in an environment that's full of diverse people, or people that are not from your normal network or tribe or industry, I think you increase the probability of innovation, new ideas happening. If you just operate from your own little path or your own little network, there's likelihood of innovation happening. And that means if you're talking larger companies, multinationals, you've got to get outside of your silos. You've got to get input. You've got to get influenced by people externally that's going to help drive that innovation internally. If it's small businesses, you've got to surround yourself with different kind of people that will help you in your own thinking and help expand your own thinking. The space is incredibly important. It has to make you feel comfortable, it has to make you feel at home, it has to allow you to do whatever activity you need to do throughout the day. And the whole notion of just creating a workspace, I think this has become redundant. It's not just a workspace, it is a lifestyle space to some extent, where you can float in and out of working, socializing, meeting people, do whatever you'll do in a normal day, whether it's just entirely work related or whether it's relating to personal activities. And I think the more you can blend that, and the more you can create an environment that makes you comfortable, the higher productivity and innovation you'll get. It has made a major impact in the terms of we can work from anywhere at any time. That's positive. That's certainly positive. There's also some significant negatives, which is just we're on all the time. We're never able to shut off. We're constantly checking the emails, the phone, and it's making it hard for people to be present. And I think that's what I like technology, but I think it is disrupting the way that we live to a great extent, negatively. Of course, many positives as well, but I think the negative is that it's actually we're having less and less quality conversations. We are being less and less present. We are more and more short-term focused. I think a lot of the work that we do, we try and bring it back to the quality of good conversations. The technology that we use in our spaces is the fastest internet. It's these basic tools that you just need. But beyond that, that's not our focus. Our focus is around real interactions between people. I think we can put in discipline around how we work and how often we use technology. Personally, I only use emails 3 times a day. Try and put it in blocks. I'll ensure I book times with myself in my diary where I get thinking time, where I get time away from a telephone. I'm personally trialing a 10-year-old telephone for 3 months next year with just phone and just texts, just to see how that makes me more present, and if it makes me more present in whatever I do, whether it's just having lunch, whether it's just walking on the street, whatever it is. If I don't have the ability to do that quick check on emails, on internet, whatever it is, I think I will be more present. So I'm going to try it out. I think it's about not being afraid, or action. You can write your plan. You should have your business plan. You should have your outline what you want to achieve. But it's never going to be one way. It's never going to be a straight way. It will be a road with a lot of bends, a lot of changes, and just listen and learn. What I say, throw things on the wall, see what sticks. What doesn't stick, just move on, make mistakes, learn from those mistakes, learn them fast, but just keep trying things. The more you try, the more you learn. The less plans you write, the better it is. Do stuff, make stuff, pilot things, make mistakes. That's the best way. And if I can add one more as well, listen to people, but always follow your own gut. And there's a million people out there with good hearts, good intentions that wants to give good advice, but they are not part of your journey. They haven't gone through the same process of thinking that you did for you to come up with that business idea or plan. So always go back to the core idea and your core thinking and let that be your driver. Don't get distracted by people around you that are there because they want to give you good advice. Follow your own advice or gut instinct. Trying new things, constantly trying new things. I think for Work Club and for Florence Guild, it's never static. I'm never at a point where I think I'm happy. I'm constantly unhappy about where we're at, what I want to achieve, or not achieve. It's more I want to keep pushing, because it's for me it's exactly what I said earlier. It's about learning and around trying things out, see what works, what doesn't work. So it's a never-ending process of continuing to sort of push the boundaries, push the business in new directions, try new things. It's just never static, and that motivates me. That for me, it's not work. It's just I love what I do, and it's hard to wait for Monday morning sometimes because I want to continue to do what I do. I do genuinely enjoy it, and I'm learning all the time. Work Club it's a business I've been in for 3 years. It's still a new business for me, and it's one where I constantly learn, just like I do in the old business I've been in for much longer. But it's about learning. We never stop learning, and kids lose or end school in their teens or their 20s. For me, it should never stop. It's just it's about continuing to learn. Work Club is not just a workspace. It's about creating experiences for our members that includes retail experience, that includes hospitality experience. If you work in isolation, you're less likely to find answers. Nothing is a coincidence. Everything is there to create an experience that's second to none. Every piece of furniture in Work Club has got its story, and it's made by people who are passionate about what they do.
You come here, it's like got the charm. Every single one of my clients that comes in here is like, oh wow, you know.
It just really works for us. It's given a lot of actually strength to our brand when our clients come here.
You end up in the kitchen, around the cafe space as part of the Florence Guild event series. You end up having conversations with people who work in completely different fields.
The fact that you're staying for an event that's really going to get you to think differently and meet with people that are not just working here but also from other environments makes it a real reason to stay and spend the evening and connect with them and have great conversations.
All we could do was just try to create or curate a diverse group of people and then see what happened, and hopefully the space would create the foundation for that.